What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Austin Got Figs action figure review. And as you can see by the title and by the packaging here, we will be reviewing the WrestleMania 41 Elite Seth Rollins action figure. Now, obviously, you can see here the figure is already out of the package because I wanted to take it out of the package, so I didn't have to do it while recording this video, so I can just get that hassle out of the way. I just did it before. But yeah, here is the front of the package. As you can see, there is a Build-A-Figure included with this, and I will be doing a full review on the Build-A-Figure at the end of all the WrestleMania 41 Elite figure reviews, because I do have every figure now from this wave. So after I'm done reviewing every figure, I will do a separate video reviewing the Howard Finkel. Now, let's turn to the other side of the package. We do have a good shot of Seth Rollins here, and then you have the WrestleMania logo, and obviously Elite Collection, since it is a Elite figure. Moving around to the back of the package, you do have a shot of Seth Rollins right here. I believe this is from WrestleMania 39 at Hollywood. And so yeah, there's the shot of Seth Rollins there. You got all the details right there, obviously, if you care about that. You obviously have the WrestleMania 41 logo up there. Again, Elite Collection. Moving down, we have a little description here from like where this attire was influenced from, like for the figure. And now moving down, we obviously have every figure that's in the wave. And once again, I do have all these figures here, and over the course of the next couple days, you will start seeing all of the review videos come out. Obviously, right here is the Howard Finkel Build-A-Figure, and I already mentioned I will be doing a separate video on it after I have reviewed every figure in this wave. Moving around to the other side of the package, we do just have the Seth frickin' Rollins right there, and then you have like the WrestleMania 41 little design going on here, which is pretty cool, and then obviously Elite Collection. And that's it for basically the package, but now let's jump into the actual accessories. Alright, now here are pretty much the actual accessories that come with the Seth Rollins figure. Let's start over here on this side. We obviously have pretty much the open hands, so kind of like the high five hands or whatever you want to call them here. Just a little pretty basic hand. I mean, you get this with pretty much every Elite figure nowadays. And then here's obviously the other one, nothing too special there. I mean, just again, average open hand pretty much, nothing too crazy. Moving on to over here in the middle, we do have these hands, and honestly, I don't know what you really want to call these, but as soon as I saw them, they reminded me of kind of like the, I think it was Elite 116 Randy Orton hands. That's what these remind me of, honestly. I don't know what these would really be used for, really, but, you know, I mean, you get them, so obviously you can find some use for them. I just don't know the exact use. But here's the other one. Nothing too special with these hands either. I mean, just kind of basic hand. Actually, I want to consider it a basic hand. I don't think you really see this hand much. This is actually pretty unique, honestly. So I take that back. It's not this exact hand, or these hands aren't really that basic. I don't think you get these with every figure. Now moving on to the actual mic holding hands, you obviously get two of these. Again, these definitely come with pretty much every Elite figure. You know, if you have a microphone, you want to stick it in his hand, there you go, right there. We can move on to the other one. Nothing too special, just again, another mic holding hand. If you want to put a mic in his hand, maybe you want to put two mics in his hand, so you have him cut like double the promo, man. I don't know, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. But I mean, that's about it for the accessories there. You just get a bunch of hands. I was actually surprised how many hands he came with. I wasn't expecting this many. I mean, I know it doesn't look like a lot, but I just wasn't expecting this specific figure to have this many. But yeah, I mean, that's about it for the hands. I mean, once again, the little high five, kind of like and then here, like the Randy Orton Elite 116 hands, and then obviously your two mic holding hands. But let's jump into something more exciting, which is the actual figure itself. Alrighty, now here is the actual figure itself. And I gotta be honest, man. Before I actually bought this figure, I thought this figure looked absolutely terrible. I thought this attire just overall looked like dookie, man. This figure was not appealing to me. It just did not look very sick, in my opinion, and it was just looked like a, you know, one of those trash figures that gets released every now and then. My bad. But yeah, before I buying this, I thought this figure was trash. But now actually taking it out of the package, man, and really looking at it, man, I really am starting to enjoy this figure. I think it looks very sick. But let's jump into the head to start it off. I think this is obviously a kind of standard head scan with Rollins. I think we've definitely gotten this head scan before, so I don't think this is new. I mean, I do like it. It's not a bad head scan. I think it does look like Rollins, but for sure, no complaints really on my part. If we look at the actual hair, I do like the little blonde highlight that they added there. That is very cool. I think they could have done a little bit better, but I can understand why maybe there wasn't, more of an improvement with the hair. But overall, man, the hair does look sick, and I do enjoy that blonde highlight. There's obviously the top view of his hair, just a little black, brown, whatever you want to call it. We can turn him around, look at the hair from back there. You get a little bit more of, obviously, the blonde highlight right there. And I like how they faded it, and I think that's very cool. I think they did a good job on that, specifically, just, fading the colors together. Let's turn the figure back around here. Let's move on to the actual arms. So obviously nothing too special on his arms there. That's a side view, nothing too crazy. You just get the little white wrist tape there, so nothing too special. Let's move on to the other arm. Pretty much the same thing, just the white wrist tape, nothing too special. I did forget to mention, you do obviously have the standard fisted hands, and these are probably what I'm going to use mostly for my Rollins. I don't know if I'll really ever change his hands out on this figure specifically, but obviously enjoy those little fisted hands. Nothing too special, though. Let's move on to the actual, chest area. I do like that they added chest hair, man. Mattel definitely did good on this figure with the chest hair. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but at least for me personally, it does add a lot to the figure. A lot of, it definitely helps improve the aesthetic and overall look of the figure. So I do appreciate that Mattel did take the time to actually add chest hair. That is very sick. Let me actually move this hair. Maybe we can get a better view of it. Oh, never mind. I guess that might not work. But anyways, yeah, there's the obviously the chest hair. Moving down, you obviously have a little bit of hair down here. So I enjoy that too. You get it in both areas. So that is very cool. Again, Mattel, shout out for actually looking at a lot, or actually, going in depth on this figure, not just, letting it go to waste, actually making some, actually spending quality time on the figure. So I do appreciate that from Mattel. Let's move on to the actual, overall attire of the figure, which is, pretty much pants, because obviously he doesn't have a shirt. And I am enjoying these pants, man. Like I said at first, I didn't think this figure was going to be good, and the main reason was the attire. You might not be able to see it much on camera, but the little strap that he has there on his little waist is red, and then the actual kind of pants are pink or just pink. So for that reason specifically, I didn't think this was actually going to be a good figure. I thought it was really just was gonna be a trash figure. But like I said, after taking it out of the package and really looking at it, I am starting to enjoy this figure. But the overall attire, man, again that red waist strap kind of thing looking there, I'm starting to enjoy that. Let's actually turn it around to see what it looks like from the back. So nothing too special there, just pretty much the same thing. Obviously it doesn't look red on camera, but it is actually red. And then let's turn the figure back around here. Let's get into the actual pants. I've been starting to enjoy these pants. I like this little detail that they added right here with the pants right there. That is sick in my opinion. I really do enjoy that. Obviously they did it on both sides. On this figure, it does look like this side is popping out a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter. You can't really notice it unless you're really deeply looking at it, honestly. Then you obviously have the knee pads right here. Obviously those are pink, matching with the pants. And then we kind of get out of the pink area, moving on down to the boots. As you can see, they do have pretty much the red kick pads, obviously, which is cool because it matches with, obviously, the belt little loop buckle thing up here. So that is cool. They didn't just do entirely pink, and they actually matched something with this red up there. So I do appreciate that, once again, from Mattel. It's actually the back of the figure once more. You can see, obviously, the back of the knee pads. Nothing too crazy there. And obviously the back of pretty much the kick pads, boots, whatever you want to call them. So that's pretty much it for the overall attire of the figure. Nothing too special, but I definitely am starting to enjoy this figure a lot. Honestly, I'm not going to lie, man. I think this is definitely worth the purchase if you haven't bought it already, or if you do have the chance to get it, I think you should definitely invest and purchase this figure. This figure is absolutely sick, and I think you guys, if you actually had it, I think you guys would enjoy this figure and appreciate it a lot more. But I think that is going to wrap up today's action figure review video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Maybe do you think this is a good figure, or do you think it's a bad figure? Let me know. And also let me know if you think there's anything that I forgot to cover, or if there's anything you disagree with that I had stated. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and even turn on post notifications to always get notified when I post a video. And I, once again, hope you guys enjoyed, and without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.